It's Tuesday, October 9th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we meet another member of Ralph Bismore's family at Wings of Freedom, get the police chief on the phone, and wrap up the show with a special interview with Channel 18's newest intern. First, here's some news you can use. Is getting the flu this year on your calendar? Well, of course not. But these two-town Barnstable influenza clinics should be. Wednesday, October 10th, 9 to 11 a.m., and Wednesday afternoon, November 7th, 3 to 5 p.m. Both will be at the St. George Greath Orthodox Church Community Center. These clinics are open to residents only. The fee is $3. Consent forms will be available at the following locations: Barnstable Public Health Division, 200 Main Street, Hyannis, and Barnstable Senior Center, Route 28, Hyannis. For more information, call the Town of Barnstable Public Health Division at 508-862-4644. Barnstable is home to many heroes and parks that are named after them. At the Wings of Freedom event at Barnstable Municipal Airport, Channel 18 had a chance to meet Joe Bismore, the youngest brother of Ralph Bismore, and learn more about the World War II hero and the park that was named for him on Ocean Street, overlooking Hyannis Harbor.
Yes, he was on a B-26 like that one, only with just a single tail. And I have heard several different stories of how he died. I don't know which is actually the way he died, but it doesn't make any difference. He died in the plane. And I have been once down to the cemetery in Washington and visited his gravesite, and that was really an emotional experience. But he was really a saint. He was a remarkable, amazing, lovely person, and as opposed to some of the rest of us who were gruff and not so nice. We'd get a letter once in a while, because that's about all the communications we had. The telephones were all busy with war business. And so occasionally we'd get a letter, and my mother and my sisters would send him a package with some cookies and stuff in it. I don't know if they ever got there or not. Or if they did get there, they were probably gulped up by all of his friends, like it was when I was in the Army. I'd get a package and I'd have 2 cookies and the rest of them would just go to everybody else. But no, we didn't have much constant awareness of where he was, which is good, because, but anyway, like when he went over to Europe, I had no idea he was in Europe until we discovered that he was no longer with us. Well, we were a ragtag bunch because we were all very different. Jerry was life of the party. He was just, well, his smile lit up the room, and he was just funny and fun, and at the same time he was very serious, depending what he was doing. Then he went roller skating at Middle Hill one time, and the gal in front of him tripped, and he went to jump over, and he kicked her with his skate and broke her jaw. So he went to visit her in the hospital, and darn if they didn't get married. We were patriotic, we loved America, we loved Cape Cod, we loved the people on Cape Cod because they're friendly people. Whenever we'd get away from Cape Cod, we'd run into the brusque, well, like we'd go to Boston and people were not friendly and warm. And so we appreciated where we were. We appreciated the beauty of the place and the willingness to share among people.
On the phone with me, Chief Sonnabend, catching bad guys. Chief, how are you this morning?
I'm great. I'm not catching bad guys, but my people are. They're doing a great job.
That we have heard. There's been some news catching some nefarious folks out there with some joint help with the Bourne area.
Yes. September 27th. Our detectives, specifically like Kevin Connolly, who does a lot of our computer investigations, computer crimes, and whatnot, was working with the Bourne PD and the Barnstable County Sheriff's Office, and they executed a search warrant in Buzzards Bay on Waterhouse Road. As a result of the search warrant and investigation, once they got there on the scene, 27-year-old Justin Fleming was arrested and charged with possession of child pornography as well as distribution of child pornography. The whole reason the search warrant came about was the result of Detective Connolly and the Barnstable Police Department working through an organization called ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children. And what they do is they investigate suspicious activity that they flagged on the Internet, and Detective Connolly can get in there and work through that agency to identify what that activity is and where it's originating from. So what they do is they go out. It takes quite a while. It took a couple of months, and they were finally able to narrow down where this stuff was coming from out of the Waterhouse Road residence. And what it was is they were distributing images and videos that depicted child pornography. So they found at least one computer that had the stuff that they were looking for. There's a specific computer program that these people use. They found that and some other stuff on the computer that led to the arrest there. The individual was arrested. Mr. Fleming was arrested, booked at the Bourne PD. Bail was set at $5,000 cash, and they seized several other digital devices while they were there. And right now, the case is working its way through the court system, and hopefully we'll get a positive disposition on this.
Great work by Detective Connolly and all his counterparts out there. I know that it's not easy work for these guys.
No, it's quite bluntly, it's disgusting, really. But this is kind of, especially these days, parents, you really have to, especially with younger kids and that early teenage group, you really got to pay attention to what they're doing with their devices and what they're sharing and what they're doing, because not like the older generation that I'm a part of, they're taking pictures of themselves in certain circumstances and emailing them or sending them through social media to people they think that are friends, and these other people on the other end are not friends. They've set up fake accounts, and they garner the attention of these younger individuals and they prey on them. And we as parents really have to pay attention to what they're doing and how they're doing it, because it really starts there.
Well, that actually brings us to the next thing that we want to talk about quickly. We'll talk about it again, I'm sure, before the event, but there's a substance abuse forum coming up for parents on October 24th that you are co-sponsoring with HYCC and a couple of other organizations. Tell our parents about it.
Yep. Once again, this is work that is excellent work that's being done by the people that work here at the Barnstable PD, specifically Sergeant Jennifer Ellis. She runs the Community Impact Unit. What they're doing is they are going to be hosting a forum on substance abuse. It's going to be on October 24th at 6:30 p.m. at the HYCC. It really hasn't gotten publicized out there too much yet because they're still drawing a lot of the people in, but they're going to have the Youth Commission that's involved, and what that is it's a group of high school age students that meet, and they help to work with different political organizations and different volunteer organizations around the Cape for the betterment of the youth, specifically the youth in our schools. And they help to set up substance abuse type forums. They run their own in the spring each year to bring incoming 8th graders over to Cape Cod Community College for a day, and they get panels together so they can hear about different things and how to if they're challenged in life and as they move into the high school, into the bigger environment, what they can do to better prepare themselves and how to deal with those situations. But what they're going to do is there's going to be multiple outside agencies, Gosnold and the like, that are going to be there. They're going to set up tables. They're going to not only just sit there and speak to parents, and preach to parents, but be there to give out material and interact with the parents so people have questions and they can get different ideas and different hotline numbers and pamphlets on different things that they can use to speak to their kids about. Because again, we think your children aren't listening to you. They really are. They really do pay attention to what you say, and what you say matters. And what we want to do is hopefully get you some good information so that if you're uncomfortable and you don't know what to say or what to look for, you can better arm yourself and be prepared and at least know where to turn if you have questions.
Fantastic event. We'll talk more about it. We just did an interview with the Youth Commission and some of the folks at HYCC. So we'll try to get the word out so parents are there and get armed with some of the tools that they'll need to manage their tweens.
Yeah, believe me, it's a lot of work, but we're there to help you, and if you have questions, we'll be there.
Excellent. And let's end with some really good news out of your department. You had 2 officers that went to the State House for awards.
Yes, they did. As a matter of fact, what it was up on October 2nd. It was the Latinx Excellence on the Hill ceremony that was at the Massachusetts State House. And 2 of our officers, Vanessa Paisea and John Barcelo, were nominated by State Rep Will Crocker for being the first naturalized citizens to serve here on the Barnstable Police Department, which really, when you think about it, is a big deal. They've overcome a lot of different things, language barriers and a lot of different things, and here they are, made it through the academy, and both are doing an excellent job here on the police department, and it really shows what direction we're moving in. We've had the Brazilian community living here for a number of years, and now their children and their family members are now becoming members of the police department. And it's an awesome thing, and it was very great of the state to recognize that, especially Will Crocker. Took the time, bring them up, and show the local Brazilian community and our own community at large positive role models in this day and age for kids to look at and say, you know what, I can achieve these things too.
Well, congratulations to both officers and obviously to the police department. Community policing is one of those things that I think everyone appreciates, Chief.
We all do. It makes all our lives better.
Thanks. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
The ideal intern is committed, creative, organized, ambitious, independent, and able to crack a smile, whether meeting a celebrity or folding socks. Here at Channel 18, we think we have the ideal intern. Meet Seamus Shropshire. Channel 18 and the town of Barnstable have a commitment to our youth. We have an internship program here at the station, and with me today is our newest intern from Barnstable High School, Seamus Shropshire. Welcome, Seamus.
Thank you, Paula.
So internships are kind of one of those things that some kids do them and some kids don't. Why are you doing an internship this year?
So I really wanted to do the internship to really get kind of out there and kind of experience things. And in this one particular, I worked in the school's B2B TV studio as a class and a course that I took, and I just really enjoyed it. I never really thought of it as a career, but as I kind of started to really get into it and started to play around with things and editing and recording and all this different kind of stuff, it kind of clicked with me. And as soon as I found out that there was an opportunity to do an internship that Miss Eastman runs at the school, I was just like, yeah, definitely, I want to do that. And it was just a matter of where do I go? Like, where can I go? And one of the options she said to me was Channel 18. And because I've done stuff at B2B TV and because I'm interested in studio work, she said, this is a really nice, studio. We had people intern there, and I said, yeah, let's do it.
All right, so you're here. You've been here since for a full month now, since well, almost September 18th, I think was your start date. So, what are the things that you have as goals to learn here?
So I really, when I came in the first day, I had little to really know where my goals were going to be set. You know, where can I set them? How far can I go? And then I realized that it was just limitless. And one of those main things I think you even have already been teaching me is storytelling and being a storyteller. And I'm kind of that guy who always goes in with a story and makes it a huge, thing, and makes a movie out of it. And so when I started to work on some of the projects I ended up working on, I realized that in myself, and really wanted to set a goal to be a really good storyteller, to be really good at approaching the audience, and just in general, just make everybody aware of what's going on. And in any case, it's good things, bad things, and all around.
All right. So storytelling, municipal government, we don't necessarily think of that as the entertainment industry. But there are stories about your town. What are some of the things that have surprised you so far about working for the town?
That you're kind of hidden. That you're kind of, you're...
Well, that's because we're in the basement.
Yeah. You're kind of put behind a camera or behind the computer, and it's not a bad thing at all. At least for me, I almost like it because it's kind of like you're a little sneaky. You're just kind of doing it, and nobody. I mean, people are aware of it, but they're not always thinking about it. And so once they see the channel put up some video on Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is. When you're not in front of the camera and you're behind the scenes, it's almost like, a director in a film or anything like that. So working with the town is kind of similar. Everybody's above and they're all working on their stuff, and we're down here just, working away just like them.
That's right. Just putting a lens on what we do here at town government.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a couple of questions. So you're a musician, and you're really, that's your true love here. We know you're probably not going to work in government access the rest of your life, so that's okay. We're going to expose you to the different aspects of that. But as a musician, how will an internship help you as you go forward in your career?
So I really took an interest in, when we were talking about storytelling, just as we were speaking about, that's kind of a part of music in itself. Not only is it working in a studio as you would be working in a music studio, same kind of thing, but also being able to write music and tell a story through music rather than footage and talking about it. I mean, you can write lyrics, but you can also just play. And to have different approaches on how to tell a story just through this, whether it's knowing the who, what, where, when, why of everything, you might be able to feed that into music, you might be able to feed that into writing a book. And when I personally write my own music, already some of the stuff I've learned here, I've began to put into my music. And I've began to think, okay, when I'm at my own desk and I'm on my software, it's not an editing software for videos, but it's an editing software for audio. And you learn it all here. You learn audio editing, you learn video editing, you learn story editing, you learn it all. So it opens up an aspect for music, it opens up an aspect for a road down entertainment, script writing, author, whatever you want to be, it's almost right here. And so for music, it's that kind of writing aspect of telling the world your story, and what my story is, and what maybe somebody in historical time's story was. And so I think that's a really important aspect in my music currently, too.
Great. So I'm going to ask you a question, because we're going to tease a little bit of the project your first project that you're working on. It started out that you were just going to record an event and be done with it. and now it's turned into this more elaborate production of content. So tease a little bit about that story so folks can get excited to see it once it's complete.
All right. So how could I tease it without telling it?
Well, let's talk about, we're in election season, right?
That is
so tell them about the event that you recorded.
So there was an event at Barnstable High School, maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 now, but time flies. So, and the candidates forum was held in the Night Hall at the Barnstable, and it's just the stage. And I decided to just go in and film it, and the whole purpose of the event is to pull in a group of students from all different schools that are taking government classes, government-related classes, and they are able to see the candidates and see senators and see and hear what they have to say about certain topics that are happening in our local government. So it was really interesting to kind of see students' perspectives on this particular event, and so main approach is just kind of that's I filmed that, and we'll just see how it goes in the season,
But also, when you came back with that footage, you realized that there was a deeper story there. That there were more people to talk to.
Yeah, actually, yes, very much so. I mean, when I realized I went and filmed something that's based on local government, and then I came to town hall to work, and then I realized that, I could just look upstairs and there's somebody else to talk to about it. So,
excellent. So, what would you tell underclassmen? So you're a senior, you're going to be graduating. This is kind of a world of work. I know it's exciting, isn't it? What would you tell an underclassman about doing internships?
Oh, man, definitely do it. I mean, to be able to, we all work, typically most of us work those jobs that, you work at some fast food place, you work as a busser, you work as something, something really basic, retail stuff. But what an internship will offer is a real life work experience. And let me tell you, it's so much better. It's so much better. It's so much more relieving to just kind of get out there. And when I came here, I knew I wasn't going to be walking into my, current, job and have that kind of same feeling. I walked into a real job. Like this is, and not saying that those jobs aren't real when you're bussing tables or whatever that is. But when you end up coming into an internship, you're focused on, for instance, mine's focused on telling the people, being the press. And you can go into anything. You just find the right people, find the connections, and you can internship anywhere. I have friends that are their internship is at performing arts centers. They have them at even a music studio was one of them. They have people doing stuff as CNAs and all this stuff. That's a huge opportunity, and it's also a way to kind of find out, do I want to go into this career? Or maybe I don't. And even if you go and you do it and you say, I don't like it, at least now you know, I don't want to go into that career and I want to look at something else. So it really kind of clears your brain, because you're coming out of high school and you're going into the real world, So they kept you away, and now you're going to go out, and this is kind of a way to, almost like a comforting feeling of, I know what I want to do, or I know what I don't want to do, so.
Excellent. Well, we are really fortunate to have you. You've got a bucket load of talent, and we can't wait to see all the work you'll produce here this year.
I'm really excited, and I'm really glad to be a part of the crew.
Excellent. Thanks, Seamus.
No problem.
Here is a look at this week's meeting schedule for boards, commissions, and committees. suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. Email us or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works. For you, I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.